we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please be seated.
Nobody does the email here.
No.
Come on.
The first thing we do is make sure that these are turned off or to silence. So if you got a phone, check it right now and let's get it to silence or turned off so that you don't interrupt the proceedings. And as usual, on regular Commissioner Court days, the first item of business is public input. And I remind everyone that public input is limited to you inputting to the court. We don't have the opportunity to output back to you. We ask those that would like to address the court. If it is an agenda item, if there is an agenda item that you want to talk about, we would ask that you wait until that agenda item is called to address the court. It'd be more relevant. If it is not on the agenda, this is your opportunity to address the court. I don't have any information forms that have been filled out. I don't know if there's anyone that is trying to address the court or not. Do we have any public input? Okay.
Yes, sir.
You need to go to the podium.
Oh, she said it's regarding the first item. So
Oh, the first item.
Okay.
Oh, wait, the first item's called. Okay, very good. Then let's move on to Commissioner's comments. Commissioner One, Precinct 1.
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's been a pretty trying time that we're all going through up here right now. And so we just ask for continued prayers for everybody. The weather's held out for us. The volunteers are working hard. The state has been just top in what they're doing, giving their guidance and direction. All of our different department heads have done a tremendous job. The elected officials have on what they're doing, what they're organizing, and how they're putting all this together for our long-term recovery. And so just ask for continued guidance and prayer from all you folks to keep us all going in a good direction here. That's it.
Okay, 2.
I assume we're going to talk later about the burn ban update, so I'll skip that. Precinct 2, work continues on door-to-door welfare checks and damage assessments. You know, basically we've got a couple teams of some wonderful people who are assisting in this and basically trying to identify needs, those who have had significant damage, with the resources that are available through various volunteer groups. So we're also working hard to get the word out on debris removal, registration with TDM, ISTAT, and with FEMA, and now on checking in with our county engineers who need to, for homes that have had significant damage, before people get too far down the restoration path, make sure you're going to have a permit to rebuild there. So that needs to come out. In the Center Point area alone, we've identified over 40 homes that had significant damage and another 30 or so properties needing debris cleanup, and have already connected them with volunteers who are helping. And then there's another 25 or so severely damaged homes in the Kerrville part of Precinct 2. Otherwise, Lions Park, well, for that matter, and Flat Rock Park experienced severe damage. And actually a couple groups have approached me with an interest to rebuild Lions Park in particular and raise funds to do so, and of course design it to be a much better park than it ever was. So I look forward to hearing their plan and bringing that to court for approval. Since it is a county park, it will need that. That's all I got.
Okay, Precinct 3.
Also busy with constituent response. I've visited about 4 different ranches along the Guadalupe. One of them in particular has got 1.5 miles of property, so that's like, you know, considered about 60 miles of our area. Every single fence is down on this place and erosion throughout. So it's going to be significant. I do thank the folks that briefed, especially the USDA guys that briefed just recently that we attended, talk about fence repair. These guys are great. They're going to be very popular in the future. Right now I'm going to concentrate on debris and damage assistance for all those constituents, which I've got about 10 right now. And if you're out there and you haven't reached me, please do. I want to come see your property, meet with you, because navigating how to do debris is a challenge. It's not as simple as it sounds. It's just not. Right away is first. They started pickups on Saturday, and they're doing that first. Second is private property, which is right of entry, and you have to submit a form. That form will come out soon, if not already on our website. And third is going to be the river. So that's the debris. And you have to submit properly on your forms for damaged stuff, whether it's fences or erosion or livestock, of which the majority of our people that live on the river suffered all three. The presentation on the 31st or legislative session, I will attend. Hopefully our VFDs have a chance to provide a little bit of testimony on that. I think they have an important message to be heard as well. Burn ban plan seems to be going well in effect, and I'm glad that we did that. We got about a half-inch of rain on the east part of Kerr County yesterday, which did help. But lastly, I end this with by name recognition. There are some superstar people out there. One I'm looking at in the back is our sheriff and everything he's done. Dalton Rice in the city has done incredible amount of work, keeps checking on me to make sure I'm okay, which you need to know that. Captain John Miller, I sure hope it gets back to you in the EOC. With DPS is an incredible ops chief who keeps all the operations focused where they need to be. So if you're wondering why we found so many of the missing, it's because of the coordination, a lot by him. Incredible guy. Ken Bell with Tatum. He is my go-to guy to fix stuff. Wonderful person. And then lastly, Commissioner Tom Jones, to my right, has lifted so much for our Commissioners Court that I'm very grateful for his efforts, including all day yesterday. Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't have a lot to say. Commissioner Holt covered a lot of what I was going to say, and I'll have some with the first agenda item, but I can't say enough how grateful and my heart goes out to all the local heroes we have that have stood up and gone to the fight. I mean, we have a lot of help coming from outside. That's been documented, but our people that live here every day are the ones I tip my hat to. And the volunteers, the local volunteers that have organized so many different things that helped us get through this and are still working to help us get through this. So my hat goes off to the people here in Kerr County, the residents, the heroes. You know, in a time like this, there's people that run to the fight and there's people that run away from it. And that showed up immediately in the people here in Kerr County. So I'll have more during the next first agenda item.
Before we get to the first agenda item, the one thing that I would like to do is introduce my new best friend, Shory Harmon, in the back of the room. If you would stand up so they can see you. This is our local Texas Division of Emergency Management contact. And we have spent a lot of time together recently. I just wanted y'all to know who he is. And you actually work here. You have an office here in Kerr County. So he is with us. And go ahead and sit down. I don't mean to put you on the spot. But I can't say enough about Tatum. They showed up in force, and they brought with them the entire state government. There were more DPS. I went in a room with so many DPS officers that I felt like Indiana Jones in the library. You know, they were everywhere. And game wardens. I had no idea. We had almost 150 game wardens show up. So, to the state of Texas, to Tatum, and especially Jim Kidd, hats off. Hats off. Okay, with that, let's move on to the consideration agenda. Item number 1.1 is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action following the update on the status of recovery efforts from the 4th of July flooding. And what I have to tell you is that we've come a long way. This is what, day 25? I count the 4th because everything happened early in the morning. I think it's day 25. We are still in the search and rescue phase. We're still looking for the 2 missing. And we are preparing and actually beginning our response and recovery. If you haven't seen the contractors' trucks out on the highway, we're moving debris at warp speed. And there are two locations. One is over by the soccer fields by the landfill, and the other is at Centerpoint ISD in Centerpoint, where the debris is being taken. And the contractors are very invested in what we're doing. I've been very impressed with the contractors. I did lift the burn ban as of an hour after sunrise this morning for those that live in what I call the unaffected areas. And what I mean by that is from high water mark to high water mark on the banks of the Guadalupe. If you're outside that area, then you can burn today. But if you're going to burn, we ask that you notify the sheriff's office, the dispatcher, let them know. We also ask that you notify your volunteer fire department wherever you are out there, because you're outside the city limits. There's no burning in the city limits.
And Judge, that's a policy we have all year long.
Absolutely, but we're following it, and that is actually the permit process. I lift the burn ban on a limited basis. If you call in to the sheriff's office and the dispatcher, there's a record kept of that, and that is your formal permit to burn. If you don't do it, you don't have a permit, and you will be fined.
Think of it this way, if you don't mind me interrupting.
No.
You know, somebody sees smoke and calls in, there's a fire over here. Well, dispatch already knows that address. They know that it's all right. So we don't want to run our volunteer fire departments up and down the road needlessly.
The only other thing I'd like to jump in on is to remind everybody who is gonna burn, there is no burning after dark. So if you're gonna burn a large pile, start early, and frankly, put it out before dark. That's how these things get out of control and we have wildfires.
What I put in my order was that you can't burn before 1 hour after sunrise, and you can't burn for 1 hour before sunset. And if a fire is still going, I have required that it be manned 24/7. Someone be there on that fire if it's still going. I agree with Commissioner. I'd rather see it put out. And I have instructed that people that do not follow this, the volunteer fire departments are authorized to put the fires out if need be. That said, deep breath. The affected area, we all know what that looks like, and that's going to be a chore. The reason I took the burn ban off the unaffected areas outside the floodway is because it's August, almost, and we've got to get these things burned. We've got some regular burning that needs to go on out there in the unaffected areas like Mountain Home. But on the affected areas, we're going to start that. I've been working closely with Commissioner Jones and others, and we've come up with a complicated system that we understand, and then we'll have to explain it to you. But it basically is there's going to be an east zone, a west zone. This is just the basics of it. And those zones are being broken down into sub-zones or sections, whatever we call them. And we may have to change the wording because we have other people using terminology that we want to be consistent with. But those subsections is that the idea being that when we start burning inside the affected area, we're not going to light the whole county up at one time. Each section, as it is cleared, and when I say cleared, that's by the Texas Task Force 1, who's in charge of the search and rescue, meaning that the piles that are there have been gone over, not once, not twice. Last account I had was 4 or 5 times each. They've gone over these piles looking for human remains. And I hate to mention that, but that's what we're doing. We've got 2 that we're still trying to find. And so once those piles are cleared, then the second thing is we have to have them removed. And for those of you that live on 39 or 27, you know they're removing. So that's kind of the status of where we are. We hope to get to the affected area maybe by the end of the week. We're not sure. And we're trying to get as much of this burning done before everything dries out. That's kind of where we are. Now, I had somebody that wanted to speak on item 1,
Yes, sir.
if you would.
my boss. She has her own agenda.
We're finding there's a lot of that.
My name is Kimber Malcolm. I'm a Hunt resident. I actually live and work at Heart of the Hills Summer Camp for Girls. Thankfully, we were not in session, though we did have a major loss, and the property is decimated. We've taken an absolute nosedive in property value. And throughout this entire thing, I've known that we're going to be okay because we have such a strong community. However, people keep talking about fundraising and how important it is that we get funds to this community so we can rebuild. And I think it's absolutely absurd to expect flood victims to help out flood victims in this sense, especially when there is a $30 billion economic stabilization fund in the state of Texas, paid for by us. There's $30 billion that is sitting there waiting to be used to stabilize local economies for disasters such as this. And there is a cap on that fund. It cannot go higher unless, there's some delegation and some talking about it. But the reason why there is a cap on this fund is to make sure that people get to use it, to make sure that taxpayers get to use this fund. So it is projected that we will hit our cap this year. So I'm asking all of you, and I'm imploring our local leaders, especially Precinct 4, to please reach out to the state and expect them to help us. We have all paid into this fund. And what we are experiencing is an economic disaster. It's a domino effect. Summer camps get people to come out. All those people come to our restaurants. They come to our hotels, our rental properties. We're able to contribute to the schools. We're also interconnected. Whatever happens to one business is going to affect another. And if we have an economic stabilization fund, why aren't we using it right now? Why are we talking about fundraising when it's right there? So really, that's what I'm here for. I haven't heard anyone on an official level bring up the economic stabilization fund. And so I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that is something that we should absolutely be pursuing. And to not pursue that is negligent of our obligation to one another. So thank you. Come on.
So we've been given strict guidance and direction. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. But there is an order in which we have to do things, and that will be a part of that. But we have to be very cautious that we abide by the rules set forth by FEMA on where we get funding and how we get it and where it begins. Because
So
if
we need to wait for the federal government to ask for permission to use our own taxpayer dollars?
No, ma'am.
No.
That's not what I said.
Okay, I'm just asking, FEMA is a federal entity, so I'm wondering.
Correct.
We need to go through
And
that
this
first.
discussion didn't come from FEMA. This is coming from the state of Texas, that we have an order of events that we need to follow things to where we are still able to receive FEMA funding, because we don't want to turn it off in the midst of this. And so we will look down these roads towards that funding. There's no
Okay.
question about it. We've already talked to some of our state representatives.
Okay, good.
Sure.
Is there a way to reimburse the folks who have already fundraised? I mean, I just have concerns about my neighbors who have been decimated by this, but are willing to still step forward and, financially help each other out, but that it's a sacrifice for a reason. So I'd like to see my neighbors compensated for that. And as a property owner whose property just did a complete nosedive in value, having my taxes potentially raised, my property taxes potentially raised to help cover this cost is
Right.
daunting.
Right.
And I know I'm not the only person in that boat,
No, you're not.
so I'm
No,
just
you're not.
concerned about my neighbors not being able to be financially
Right,
compensated.
sure. And I'd like to follow up too, though, on some of the stuff under 1.1. You are going to be seeing a lot of contractors here for a while. Please get used to it. They've already got over 50 trucks out on the road. And when I'm talking about trucks, we're talking about big trucks. Between Ashbrit and Cirrus, that are the two contractors that were hired by the state, and TxDOT. TxDOT's been working for almost 2 weeks out there already, working out on Highway 39. It starts out not looking like they're making a lot of progress, until you really see it's cleaned. And so don't be fooled by thinking that nothing's being done. Those trucks actively got, really hit it hard. They had a soft landing and began on Thursday evening, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then Friday, they had more trucks, and then Saturday more, and then Sunday, yesterday, they had over 50 trucks out. And this is gonna be ongoing for months. You know, like Commissioner Holt said earlier, they're gonna start on the roadways and everything. When they hit that floodway, they're still gonna be there, still active, and they're gonna look like they're kind of in the way at some point, right? But they've got to get this cleaned up for us to get Kerr County back to where Kerr County needs to be.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
And to go in a little bit more, and Commissioner Holt touched on this at the beginning, the right of entry forms. In other words, you have a property out there, those trucks and those contractors won't come on your property unless you have a right of entry. Starting tomorrow, hard copies be available at the Hunt School, Ingram VFD, and Centerpoint VFD. There'll be a representative at those locations. Also, there'll be an online copy that you can do online, and that should be in the works either this evening or tomorrow.
Today.
Today? Well, we'll see. But anyway, you gotta get that in. And that's much preferred than burning. If you let them come in and take it off your property, get it out of there, you don't even have to light a match. So, look at that hard. And another thing, as soon as something comes out on this stuff, it'll be on our Facebook page, the county Facebook page, and their website, the city as well. So follow those, because believe me, we don't want to hold it up an hour. It gets out immediately, so you know the next step is, the next domino is falling, and you can pursue it.
But we
Okay.
can't lose sight of the fact our primary goal is still getting closure for the families. And that is the primary goal.
Right. So.
And let me add, the state is here, trust me, they are here, and they talk to all of us daily. The contractors that we're talking about, the debris that's being removed, is really off of county roads, and it's for public removal. And the state of Texas is paying for that process for us, and we're talking about millions. And we're very grateful for their assistance. They're coming. They may not be at your front door yet, but they are coming. The other thing about the economic impact of this is I serve on the Kerr Economic Development Board, KDC. And the state of Texas, TDM, recommends that a community develop what they call an LTRG. I'm learning more acronyms working with the state than I've ever known in my life. But an LTRG is a long-term recovery group. And what they want is a group of civic leaders that, from various walks of life and different experiences, to come together and to guide our economic recovery. And the KEDC board has been approached and is working with the Kerr Together group, and they will be the core, like the executive committee of the LTRG. And we have already met, we are on it. It doesn't feel like it, it doesn't look like it, but believe it or not, we are on it, and the state's on it. FEMA, on the other hand, they're more reactionary. They react to it after the fact, but they're here. They are here, and I met with the SBA administration with these SBA loans. They've got money to give you right now if you go sign up. They can put cash in your hand or a credit card with cash on it, as we sit here right now. This is all going on out there. If you have, the best place to go is to the website, which gets to information. We have several members of the press here today, media. All communications with regard to this are being handled through the JIC, the JIC. Another term, looking back at General Owens. I'm learning things. A JIC is a Joint Information Center. And we have the PIOs, the Public Information Officers, from various, all the stakeholders involved, the city, the county, and others, and they're handling the communications so that we can devote our efforts to trying to get through where we are today. And one of the things I've learned about emergency management that I'll share with you is that it is a process, and it's a step, one step at a time. It's a process, and each day gets a little better. Sometimes not as much as you would like, and sometimes more than you like. Yesterday was a good day. Our contractors were hauling big time. And when we had the afternoon meeting, we heard how many tons of debris that they've moved. And with regard to debris, I will let everybody know that there's two kinds of debris. There's vegetative debris, and then there's the other stuff,
C&D.
what they call C&D, and that's construction and what's
Debris.
huh?
Construction and demolition.
Demolition. And for those of you that are putting your debris out on the right-of-ways, for, I better back up. There are right-of-ways for state roads, and there are right-of-ways for county roads. And these contractors are working on the county roads. What you see on the state highways, which would be Highway 39, Highway 27, 1340, all of these are state highways. That's TxDOT. And TxDOT and TDM are jointly doing this, but they're not doing it together, but they're doing it in conjunction with one another. So when you see people out on the state highway, those are TxDOT people. When you see them on the counties, it is TDM that's doing that and picking up the tab on that. And one of the things that I told them yesterday was a small consolation. They were talking about how difficult it is on some of our small county roads, narrow county roads. And I said, just be thankful that they're paved. Kerr County still brags about the fact that we are the first county to pave all of our county roads. And so they can at least get in and not be in the mud and the muck. Anything else on where we are with this?
Yes, sir.
I know you've been very active. Just so
one
you
point.
know, Commissioner Holt and Commissioner Paces have been very active with the rescue,
And
yeah, the volunteer fire departments.
East side.
And Commissioner Harris and Commissioner Jones, one or the other of them is at the Emergency Operations Center at all times. And they have been very active in this process. So, yes, sir.
Just maybe to clarify, where I see grant money going to good things. As I sat down with one of our landowners and he's looking at land recovery over $1 million with erosion and fencing alone, this only pays for 75%. Think about being a German landowner. You don't sell your property, you try not to, right? So they're hanging on to this as much as they can. They may be land rich, but they're cash poor. So when they consider their 25% down deposit, they're wondering how they're gonna get there. That's where I think some of these donors, I hope, are gonna help them with that huge deposit to pay for the roads, the erosion control, and the fences. Because right now it's overwhelming. As I sit down with him and I look at that, the second that we've seen, like one that both Rich Paces and I service is Old River RV. That's like another camp, right? So it's the youth camps, but it's also our other camps that have to rebuild. And these are for-profits, and they're really gonna have to lean heavy because they're underinsured for the most part, right? On a lot of their properties in order to get back. And a lot of folks have been canceling on them. So there's definitely an opportunity cost that they're suffering right now as people have canceled. And how do they recoup from that? So I'm counting on those folks that move money to 501(c)(3)s to really reach out. And in particular, I'm happy that our Hill Country Community Foundation has set up a specific line, which they don't already have, to go directly to those camps to help them out, because they are going to need it. And our goal, like we said the other day, is to get them back in action in a year. That's considerable when you count the amount of construction and money that has to flow their way. And it's going to still be a hit on their pocket, make no doubt. That's all I have. Thank you.
A few other just tidbits that you need to know. The estimate on the reduction of the fair market value of our properties on the tax rolls is approximately $240 million. I don't know if that's been updated this week or not, but it is significant. Another thing I wanted to point out is the SBA is loaning money at 2.81% on a 30-year note to help you underwrite the expense to rebuild and recover and replace. So do not overlook the SBA benefits. They are available to everybody. And I made sure when I met with them that for those of you that have had your property in your family for generations, they're there to loan you money too. You don't have to have a mortgage. If you have a mortgage, then they'll subordinate to the mortgage. So, anything else? Okay. Then let's move on. Item 1.2, which is consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve a 9/11 commemoration proclamation. General Oates.
Good morning, Judge Kelly, Commissioners. Thanks for your service to our county.
Thank you for your service.
No new acronyms today, Judge.
Good, thank you.
I'm Michael Oates. I live at 667 Lower Turtle Creek. That's in Precinct 2. Thanks, Rich, for all your support of us. Here today to ask you for your consideration and approval of a proclamation making September 11th Patriots Day in Kerr County, very similar to last year's proclamation. As you know, it's appropriate for us to commemorate the day we lost thousands of American citizens on September 11th, and also the 20 years subsequent to that, thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who were killed fighting in the global war on terrorism. The difference in this year's proclamation, Judge, is we've added 2 more Kerr County residents to the proclamation, Charles Campa and Javier Perez. Very much appreciate your support. We will have an event again at Shriner on September 11th at 5 p.m. To commemorate that day, and all of you are certainly welcome. Judge, I know, given the circumstances, if you're still willing to come speak, we'd love to have you. So,
I'm always willing.
thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the commemoration proclamation as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item 1.3.
Okay.
Consider discuss an update on matters related to the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission. Commissioner Paces.
Yeah, not too much to add.
Been busy?
Yeah, kind of focused on some other things. But, you know, we've approved adding Gillespie County to the Sub-Regional Planning Commission, and it's now up to Kendall County. I'm not real clear. It may be on their agenda tomorrow, and it may not, depending on who's available to attend. So we'll see. I'm confident that it will be done. It's just a matter of whether it's this court meeting or the next one. Otherwise, you know, we're continue to be extremely disappointed in LCRA and Public Utilities Commission for refusing to respond any further and refusing to meet with us. So we'll get another round of letters out this week. And, you know, shame on them. All we're asking for is a simple meeting to discuss the issues and make them aware of all of our concerns. And
Do y'all
that's-
have a reason why it's not on ours first? Is there an order? I don't know what y'all,
What's not on ours?
for us to approve.
Prove what?
We did.
We did.
Oh, we did?
We've already done it.
Did
Yeah,
I vote on that?
You were here,
Yeah.
you voted for
It's up
it.
to
You voted
Kendall.
for it, Tom. It's fine.
Okay.
It was 5-0
Yeah.
vote.
You know, I think I remember that now.
Yeah, okay.
It happened.
There is no
It
reason.
happened.
Okay, okay, so
Well,
we're just waiting on Kendall County.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have no confidence in LCRA doing anything. I mean, they, you know,
It's
they're-
very
they're-
sad.
one of their board members told me they were for it, so, boom.
Anyway,
I don't
that's
think,
all I got.
Okay, very well. Then moving on, item 1.4, which is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept donations to the Kerr County Animal Services totaling $30 for the month of June 2025. Reagan Gibbons.
Good morning. These would be our June donations for Kerr County Animal Services.
Any discussion?
Motion. to
Motion.
approve.
Second.
Motion, second? Okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you. Item 1.5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to award bids for dog and cat kennels for the new Kerr County Animal Services facility Bids were received on July 14. Reagan Gibbons.
Yes, sir, good morning. So we've reviewed as best we can through these bids. A couple of things. I believe that the gator kennels are the way to go with the dog runs. And that the VSS Medical is the company to go with for the cat cages. I believe those are the lowest bidders, but they appear to be what we need. I will say that former Commissioner Letts did reach out to them to see if there was any way we could actually physically look at any of these, because we don't, we have some schematics and stuff, but it'd be kind of nice to be able to see them in person. I don't know what we can do there. They were coming up with a list of where these things are located around the state. We just kind of ran out of time on that. So I don't know if there's any way to extend this another couple weeks and give us an opportunity to do that. The company's Commissioner Jonathan Letts said that they are aware that we may push it back a little bit. I don't know if that's possible or not, but I would really like to see these things, and we just have not. With everything going on, we haven't been able to get there.
Returning to our county attorney.
Yes, sir.
Can we,
I don't know if you are required to award those bids today, but, or what the timeline is. I know that there was some need to move quickly.
we put a timeline on them to get the bids to us, but I don't think we put a timeline on us to respond to the bids.
No, there's, I agree with that.
I think that's
So
right.
I think what you're asking for is just an extension.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know any reason we wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
The motion that I would like to make is to vote on the cat kennels, because the cat kennels seem exactly what we need, and that is the lowest bidder. And they're all pretty low, but this one is exactly what because all these have to be made by hand and crafted, and that takes time. I do want to make a motion just for the cat kennels, understanding dog kennels, so you're all tracking, of the $511,000 that we have set in the budget to pay for all this. The dog kennels alone are about $125,000. That's the lowest bid. That's important enough for us to see in person. Okay, so I want to wait on dog kennels and go see them in person before we vote on that. But I'm confident that we have the cat kennels. And frankly, the old cat kennels that we have are enough to boost that inventory should we have an overrun of cats. So comfortable voting on cats, not dogs until we see it.
Did they break it down on the bid? I remember they had them broken down.
They
Can
did.
Can we accept just a partial?
They're gonna be separate.
Yeah, each of the individual folks voted on 4 different things. It was the cat quarantine, right?
Yeah, I remember you reading all of that out.
Yeah, so they voted on 4, and what we chose is, to consider is Gator for dogs and VSS for cats. And I'm comfortable voting on VSS for cats, and I'm comfortable that we'll get the vote, but we'll see in a moment.
Yeah,
So
I
my
think-
motion is to vote just on cat kennels today, to get that started.
Second? Is there a
And I-
second?
If I can add to that real quick, just so that, if Ray will have a look at the bids that came back for the dog kennels from Gator Kennels, just to make sure that he gets it back to you guys before the estimates, they're only good for a certain number of days likely.
Correct.
I don't know what it says in their bid, but just to make it get back before y'all, before that time runs out.
Are we gonna associate a name with who we're awarding a bid to?
VSS Medical,
Mhm.
cat kennels.
Yeah, make a motion for VSS as the
Okay.
cat kennel provider.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What's the cost?
You've got the cost breakdown, but I thought it was
For the cat kennels?
around 40 total for both sets.
Let's see here.
Good question. I think I should cover that.
For the cat holding cages, $15,078. And for the cat quarantine and isolation is $10,926.
25 total.
Yeah, about 26.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. No other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. And we will revisit the dog kennel beds. Very good. 1.6, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on a request to put fundraising progress sign in the Kerrville Christmas Lighting Corporation on the courthouse grounds. Shane Evans.
Good morning, gentlemen. Kerrville Christmas Lighting Corporation has respectfully asked to put a fundraising sign in the yard, courthouse yard, where the big Christmas tree is every year. They had asked for it, initially had asked to do this as soon as possible, but they have had a board meeting and decided it would be better if they could put the sign up on Wednesday, September 3rd, and then resume the campaign for the getting funds for a new Christmas tree. So I would like to ask that they'd be able to put their sign back up on September 3rd.
Well, we've got some distraction in the courtroom here.
Sorry, y'all. It's J-Rad's nose granddaughter, y'all. If anyone has a spot to be here.
Yeah.
So do I need to repeat that?
No? Did y'all hear what he said?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then what they want to do is just put a fundraising sign that shows where they are with regard to their goals.
Yes, sir, they do.
Do it every year.
So do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve that,
Okay.
1.6.
Motion? Second?
Second. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
We do this every year, right?
No.
No.
We don't put
We've
brand new.
never put a sign up before. But we work with them every year.
Yes.
So financially, my question would be, why fundraising now, and what's the difference now between last year?
Well, I think because it's a little
About
too
a new
soon to be
tree.
putting a fundraising sign considering everything that's
New
happened,
tree.
you know.
It's a new tree.
Yeah.
It is.
If you notice,
And they're trying to get a new tree. The one that we
Got
have,
it.
that the Christmas Lighting Corporation has now is 13 years old, and we have electrical issues with it every year. Every time it rains, it trips,
Yeah.
GFIs.
You probably said new tree and I didn't hear it, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, new tree, got it.
All right.
and
And
they've
so this-
actually started fundraising a while back. It's just, yeah, I guess they want to
This is
now
George
put a-
Eigner and his
put a
group.
sign.
This should be a one-time deal.
Yes.
For this
Just
tree.
this year.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Shane. Next is item 1.7, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to amend the court order number 41272, liaison appointments, to add another county representative to the Kerr Economic Development Corporation. What this really is Commissioner Letts retired, and he is still serving on the KDC board, but in his capacity as a local businessman. And we have an opening for the county, and so we're trying to fill that opening. And this is, they will be the core group for the long-term recovery group. And
I move that we appoint Commissioner Tom Jones to that position.
A second.
got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No refusal?
No.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item 1.8, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding Kerr County's membership with the Kerrville Area Chamber. Previous court order number 41318 approved bronze membership for $200, which is the nonprofit membership fee. An additional $150 is required for a bronze membership for the county.
I don't understand why there's an additional fee when we approved 200.
I don't either, but
We were trying to get the minimum membership, and it's not allowed for that unless you're a nonprofit.
we're a local government,
And
we're not a
local
nonprofit.
government.
We're not a 501c3.
So I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the additional $150 fee for membership in the Chamber of Commerce, Kerrville Area Chamber of Commerce. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Against? 4-1. Okay. Item 1.9, consider, discuss, and take consider and discuss ordering the constitutional amendment election. Ms. Alford.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. This is the order that we have to do for the Constitution Amendment election in November. The order that I had in the backup for the early voting place, I had the main early voting as the Hill Country Youth Event Center, and then the West Kerr. I'm not sure the event center will be available, so I have another two orders here that I'm going to present to you for you to make a decision, or however y'all would like to, is to have Hill Country Youth Event Center as the main early voting site. If it's not available, move it to the Union Church, and then, of course, have the West Kerr, or do the Union Church as your main early voting site for the Kerrville, and then the West Kerr for the one in Ingram.
Okay. And the early voting is what date?
It starts October the 20th and runs through October 31st. The last 2 weeks of October.
Okay. With regard to the, well, technically, we're not supposed to talk about it until I have a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
What's your motion?
For consideration.
Order the election.
Is it a motion to order the constitutional amendment election?
Yes.
That's the agenda item.
We just don't know where yet.
And I don't,
Yeah, so that's two different topics there then, right? So I'll make a motion to consider and discuss ordering a constitutional amendment election.
Which is what I seconded.
Right,
We've got a motion and a second to approve the election, constitutional election.
right.
Constitutional
Not just
amendment.
consider and discuss, the motion needs to be to approve it.
Now, with regard to availability, I suspect that you don't need the entire youth event center, right?
No, sir. The small classroom and the large classroom is what we would use for the Constitution Amendment election.
I suspect that we should be able to rearrange what's left of the EOC by October.
Does the question come into play is how much they're leasing from us at that time? Our lease agreement.
the lease agreement with you is for the entire property.
I don't anticipate that being a problem with Tito. They're in the process of demobilizing right now. And if you notice, you see fewer and fewer state troopers and state trucks out there.
Maybe I'm missing something, but maybe are you asking for them to make that decision about where it is located today?
Yes.
Well, it's not on the agenda.
It's within the order.
Okay.
So, but what maybe, it sounded like maybe was saying was that the Union Church and the West Kerr Annex are both available for early voting sites.
It's-
We have two bookings for the Union Church during that time,
Okay.
which we'd have to cancel, but just so you know.
Well, it's not my motion and I didn't second it, but why don't I
What
suggest that
did
we...
you say, Jody?
We have two
Bookings.
bookings at the Union Church during that 11-day time.
Well, those
Well,
will be canceled anyway.
They can be canceled, just like we've canceled a lot of events at the Youth Event Center already.
I think they've already canceled, I think they've already been calling out and canceling stuff out, a pretty good ways out now.
For the Union
Right.
Church.
Oh, no, you're talking about the Union Church.
Yeah, I was talking
I'm
about the
sorry,
Union
I'm sorry, okay.
Church, so it'd be the same thing.
Well, that was my question anyways, the Union Church, could it handle early voting?
It's a relatively low turnout.
I
for
feel like it would
constitutional
be, we would be able to make it work.
But we'll have to cancel
don't-
the existing bookings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Well-
know where else in the county to hold early voting. That would be,
I think, we're dealing with a lot of unknown right now, this far out. I think it'd be prudent to use the Union Church. I mean, when you look at the scheme of things, what Tatum's doing for the whole deal compared to a couple of rentals at the Union Church, I think that'd be the route to go. Does that fit your motion?
Well, our motion was just, it wasn't about the location.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
So-
it's just about the order,
Yeah.
the election.
Yeah,
So you got a motion on, and a second in front of us, so.
I mean, I think you've got a good plan, one or the other, and we'll make it work, like you originally said, probably.
and
Well, my thought is, if the youth event center is available, they ought to be free to use it.
Right,
If it's not available, the backup is certainly the Union Church.
okay.
And do we start canceling bookings now? I'd probably prefer to
You
just
give them a
wait and
heads
see.
up.
It
Maybe
sounds
alert
like
'em.
we need certainty today, so if you're making a decision today, she'll need to.
But all we're
make
doing,
plans for the union.
all we're doing today really is just approving the constitutional amendment election.
But the location's in the order. The location of the election's in the order.
It just wasn't described in the item.
Right.
Okay.
So subject to availability, well, look who walked in.
You have to read the pass down, she's got it down in there.
So, somebody restate the motion so we know what we're going to do.
I make a motion that we order the constitutional amendment election, utilizing the Union Church for that election,
In the West Kerr Annex.
and the West Kerr Annex. Is that the two?
Yes, sir.
That's the
Okay.
motion.
That's the motion.
I will second that motion.
Those in favor, raise your hand. What are we gonna do?
One opposed.
Opposed?
I'm opposed because we're still using the Verity 2.5 equipment, which created a problem with the last constitutional election. Those are all still pending. It was never properly certified. Don't have a proper lab test. So I have to oppose it.
So I vote for it, so that's a 4-1.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. Now with that, believe it or not, a rarity, we're actually on time. So let's take a brief recess, so come back at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Let's talk later. We really probably do need to get a meeting.
No. Thank you.
Volunteer you for.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we have a quorum. Court will come back to order. Next item on the agenda is 1.10, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to open, read aloud, and receive bids for the Kerr County request for proposal for the rainwater catchment system at the Kerr County Animal Shelter Facility, and refer the bids to the appropriate personnel for evaluation and award recommendations.
Folks, we have two bids today. The first bids are coming in from Texas Rainwater Systems, LLC, Texas Rainwater Systems. We're out of Fredericksburg, Texas, from a Mr. Schneider. Now, just as a reminder, this rainwater system is for the animal control facility. It is the primary source of water for all the dog and cat kennels used in the facility, so it's not just there for irrigation purposes, it's part of the operational, which is why it's a requirement to go with it. The first bid that we have from Texas Rainwater Systems is for $99,954. Larger tank options are available upon request. They highlighted that option, of which we have it does include one 16,392 gallon tank and three 9,907 gallon tanks. That is a considerable portion of the cost, just so you know that the tanks alone cost $54,029 of the $99,954. Okay. Second bid that we have.
I think I found the page you need.
Thank
right
you.
here. But this one comes with a check. I kind of like it.
What? Check made to Don Harris? No. Kidding, it is not. This is from Rain Bear. Rain Bear is from
Bernie.
Bernie, thank you. And this bid, total project cost is $121,935. That is Rain Bear. And it has the same requirements as the previous that are met. I'm trying to give you the tank cost real quick. They have it broken down a little differently. I always like the public to know the majority of something. Yeah, sorry, it didn't have the actual tank cost broken down like I wanted. But again, that second bid, Rain Bear out of Bernie, $121,935.
Okay, who are we giving them to? Commissioner Lentz?
Reagan.
Well, you're gonna give them to Nadine.
Yeah, I guess Nadine has to have it first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't understand the check, but
Yeah, to Kerr County.
is it a bribe?
No, just so you know.
I'm just joking.
5,000.
I bet it's a donation.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to take that separate.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is 1.11. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the purchase of 2 spreaders, side loader boxes, and installation from Warren Truck and Trailer LLC in the amount of $35,702.90. Donnie Houghton.
Yes, sir. We would just like to, for the court to approve our purchase of these 2. They're cross conveyor spreaders, they're truck mounted spreaders, and they help us with our asphalt process. And they also replaced 2 that we had auctioned off back in May.
And this is in the budget already?
Yep.
Funds are already in the budget.
It's not part of our capital for our year that the court had allowed us. It would be, we would request that we could use our revenue, take it out of our revenue from our auction.
Okay.
If we need to make a budget amendment, you know.
I move for approval.
A second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the purchase of these spreaders as presented by Road and Bridge. Any discussion? Whether you need a budget amendment or not? That lady right over there is the one you talked to.
We'll chat.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Judge, we go back to item 110, please. I don't know that y'all voted on it. I need an order to accept the bids.
Well, I think we got to get the recommendations, don't we?
No, we need to accept them.
Accepted.
Oh,
To
Yeah,
accept the
yeah.
bids.
Yes, I move that we accept the bids.
Sorry, second.
got a motion and a second to accept the bids that we just read and sent to the committee to review.
Good catch.
So, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.12, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the updated employer benefit agreement membership with MASA, M-A-S-A. Ms. Zapata.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Open enrollment's upon us, and so this is a the previous agreement we had with NASA had my predecessor's name on it, so they wanted a new one, and then as well as they are dropping one of our plans. So now we're only offering 2 options, so that's what the agreement is. It's just an update. We already use them, employees are already enrolled in them.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve updating the employer benefit agreement membership with MASA as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 1.13, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the renewal of all supplemental insurance benefits with SWBC. Ms. Zapata.
Again, nothing's changing here. Everything's staying the same with our supplemental benefits since we're upon open enrollment. Only change is that we are going from the 60-day waiting period to the 30-day waiting period. Other than that, everything else is staying the same, including rates.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the renewal of the supplemental insurance benefits with SWBC as presented. Any discussion?
Just a clarification for the court and the public to understand, there was a waiting period previously,
There
right?
was a 60-day waiting period.
Which we didn't think was fair.
Correct.
Because some people got 30 and some people had to wait for 60. And so we went away with that right now.
Well,
we're in-
elected officials had no waiting period. And
Yeah,
s-
it's
yes.
even more
And so now
unfair,
we've made
so-
it across the board. Everybody waits 30 days. I think
Perfect,
it's-
thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.14, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm an interlocal participation agreement with the Texas Association of Counties as part of the Texas Association of Counties Health and Employment Benefits Pool. Ms. Zapata.
This was part of our renewal. I missed it in the renewal process. We just needed to sign it and send it out to them. So this is just ratifying. The judge has already signed it.
Okay.
I move for approval.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.15. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to authorize Kerr County Sheriff to exempt Sheriff's Office employees from the 2B3 parent H close parent of the Kerr County Employee Handbook related to limitation of 320 hours of carryover paid time off during the period of the disaster declared on July 4, 2025 and extended on July 7, 2025 by order of the Kerr County Commissioners Court. Authorization to end September 30, 2026.
So currently in our policy manual, on 9/30, we look at everybody's PTO balance, and anything over 320 no longer rolls over into anything. And so Sheriff reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and because of everything that they've had to do during the disaster, he was no longer approving PTO for his employees until, I guess, things get a little bit better. And so he's requested that that policy be waived for his employees, so they have more time to use their PTO in the future.
Sheriff, do you mind explaining a little bit more? I mean, give,
You know, there's a cap.
His guys are worn out.
yeah, you're just
Cap.
spread thin, the bottom
Yeah.
line.
There's a cap on PTO. I was not letting them take it off during the time we needed everybody, so I asked that it just be
Gotcha.
expanded for the next year, because I did not let them take off.
Got you, that's all. I move for approval.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve exempting the sheriff's employees from the 320-hour limitation for carryover paid time off as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.16, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to authorize overtime pay instead of compensatory time earned for hours worked for all non-exempt employees and straight time pay for exempt employees for hours worked over 40 hours directly related to responding to the July 4 flooding disaster through the pay period ending August 9, 2025. Ms. Solden.
Good morning. So last regular Commissioners Court, I brought this to you. You approved doing this, and I told you I would bring it back each time to let you extend or not. So that's why I'm here.
Tracy, just for the public, will you explain the non-exempt and exempt employees?
Sylvia might be better at that than I am. I know who's classified as that, but I don't know really why.
Non-exempt employees are gonna be our hourly employees. Exempt is gonna be your department heads, anybody who has a supervisory.
Okay,
Thank you.
I believe we have somebody that wants to speak on this. Ms. Hall?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve and a second. Discussion?
I guess, so we're saying that exempt would go ahead and get paid for overtime?
They get paid straight time for the hours over 40. That's what you approved last time as well.
Okay.
Instead of like time and a half?
So salary
Instead of
is.
Just a regular salary for
They
the
don't
hours they work.
normally get any extra hours
Yeah,
over their
right,
40
we
hours
cap the
salary.
Salaried people don't get paid overtime, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So
I'll give you an example, like Jason, all my captains are exempt employees. You know, normally they don't get paid anything extra, but in times like this, they get paid, but not time and a half, straight time, anything over 40 hours.
is that in the policy or?
That's been, I don't know if
It's not in the
it's not
policy, which is why it came to the court to approve it last
Yeah,
time
it's what we've
because
done
of the
before.
emergency.
Just asking.
This is,
Making policy.
we have precedent for this, is what we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. And
More
this is
discussion?
only extending it through August 9th.
Right.
My name is Terry Hall, and I live at 118 Independence. I'm also speaking on behalf of We the People, Liberty in Action. Our objection to this is that when you sign a contract to be an exempt employee, in other words, salaried, you're not paid hourly, and you forego overtime pay. That is part of the agreement you make. Now, obviously, we understand we're in extraordinary circumstances right now, but at the end of the day, so are all of your residents. So is everybody out there. Businesses are taking a hit. Landowners are taking a hit. Commissioner Holt just mentioned earlier how they're not going to get completely reimbursed for the costs and the losses that they're experiencing right now. So that's our concern, is that the residents out here are hurting. We're all in crisis. We're all experiencing this together. And the more we up the amount we have to pay everybody, the higher likelihood it is that you're going to look at that 8% tax hike. So that's our issue with it.
Our exempt employees don't have contracts with the Commissioners Court to work with them.
Did everybody hear that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Exempt employees don't have a contract, but they are hired as, they're identified as exempt.
At will? Okay.
They're still at will. Meaning, we can let them go anytime,
Mhm.
they should.
That's right.
Since we're still in discussion, how many employees does this actually affect? So we're kind of understand what we're looking at financially and impact. Tough question, I know. I'm throwing a
I don't have an
curveball.
exact number,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say we probably have about 20 to 25 department heads.
Okay.
Maybe a little less than that. I don't have an exact number. I'd have to go look at everybody.
I have a hard time with this, because what's next? Elected officials, I know, we had people, well, everybody's stepping up. We had meetings yesterday on Sunday, and all the days run together. We don't know, and everybody's putting in extra. And that's the difference, If you're salaried, that's part of it. And so, I have a problem with that. Not that they're not deserving, everybody's deserving, but it's a different deal.
Just to clarify, electeds can't receive it because our salaries are published and we can't
Yeah.
go above that.
Well, good.
I'm glad you clarified that. So
Yeah,
sir.
thank you. But, no, there's a difference.
We
Any
already
other
did this
discussion?
once, right?
Huh?
We already did this once, is that right? Or
Well, we've done it before, yeah.
No, but I mean, did we do it last time in court? I can't remember.
Yes, you did, and that's why I'm bringing it
was
back.
approved. So we're talking about one more pay period or?
Through August 9th.
When was the original, when does the original order expire that we did?
This last pay period for the 26th.
Mhm.
Yes, 26th.
Hopefully that was the big one and there's not as much of this right now.
Well, there's less and less of it, I can tell you that.
Javi Pettifee, Precinct 202, in Center Point. I just wonder if there's an opt-out. Some of the employees that we're talking about, do they have the option of opting out and just considering that that's their giving over and above, like so many of us? I know a lot of people have, to Terry's point, given a lot of time, and they have no compensation. I also wonder if there's an option of getting comp time down the road when things are a little calmer.
Oh, in lieu of pay?
So they can opt to not get paid. We did have one department head who did not want to get paid, and they did not get paid. So that is an option. Comp time gets a little messy because there is no comp time for exempt employees. So I would not necessarily suggest that, but that's just my recommendation.
Thank you.
I didn't have a big issue with it when we did it before because I know how many hours everybody's putting in, but I also know we're slowing down.
And so the hours should reflect that.
Yeah.
So I do have some preliminary totals for the very first payroll that you approved. It was just the first 2 days, right? Because the emergency was July 4th, a Friday, Saturday was the end of the pay period. And then this pay period that we're processing now was a full 2 weeks. And this pay period was about 2/3 of the hours as those first 2 days. So so it was 3,471 hours just in those first 2 days combined for all county employees that worked the emergency that was eligible to be paid out. And this pay period, again, it's preliminary because we haven't really started processing. It's about almost 2,400 hours.
But you don't have that
So
broken down.
3,400 hours versus 20, for 2 days,
So it's come down,
3,400 hours for 14 days.
Yeah.
And what's the approximate cost of that?
It was just under 155,000 for those first 2 days. And again, estimate this time it'd be about 135,000. But that's before we have the opportunity to really make sure people enter their time correctly.
I mean, I think a road or bridge alone, wow.
Yeah, but
I don't
that's not
believe Road
broken
and
down
Bridge
with-
is doing anything past that first initial bridge clearing. I don't think that they have,
They didn't submit.
I didn't see any overtime or any emergency pay hours for
Okay.
this pay period.
You don't see any for this pay period?
I didn't, but I haven't seen it since it was due at 10 a.m.
All right.
So, what do we have? We have a motion and a second.
We do. Lots of discussion.
Okay. This is going to be a vote to authorize overtime pay instead of compensatory time earned for hours worked for all non-exempt employees and straight time pay for exempt employees for hours worked over 40 hours directly related to responding to the July 4 flooding disaster. Now, those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed? Motion fails.
I mean, I'd be okay on the non-exempt if there was a way to separate the two.
That's up to you if you want to make a motion.
Can we change that to during that, to make the?
This motion failed.
Right.
Is there another motion?
Let me read this. So I'll make a motion that we authorize overtime pay instead of compensatory time earned for hours worked for all non-exempt employees.
And then you would just strike the rest of that?
Yes, sir.
And so we'll strike, and straight time pay for exempt employees would be stricken?
Yeah.
So we now have a motion that says to authorize overtime pay instead of compensatory time earned for hours worked for all non-exempt employees for hours worked over 40 hours directly related to the flood disaster.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a
That's my
second?
motion.
Through the pay period ending August 9th.
I'll give a second.
August 9? Okay.
Is that?
We've got a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
1.17, Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a one-year suspension of the interlocal cooperation agreement between Kerr County and the County of San Patricio County for short-term sheltering during an evacuation. We simply don't have the ability to take them if there's a hurricane.
Right. I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to suspend the interlocal cooperation agreement with San Patricio County for short-term sheltering evaluation. And this would be just for this year.
Right.
Have you already reached out to them?
Yes.
Okay.
We have.
They're okay with it, I guess, or?
They understand.
Maybe not happy,
We've
but
swapped
they
texts, but yes,
understand.
Yeah.
they understand.
They've had disasters too.
Sure.
So
Okay.
those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 1.18, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify the amendment to a commercial lease agreement between the Kerr County Airport Board and Mooney International Corporation, Inc. And this was in response to the disaster. There was an amendment, and I approved it, and I'm asking for forgiveness.
I make a motion to, well, maybe not forgive you, but to take the appropriate action to ratify the agreement.
Right.
And I'll second.
We got a motion and a second to ratify the amendment to the lease between the airport board and Mooney. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir. Could we just understand what that, for the public understands what Mooney is used for now, what the amendment was, what they're doing there?
Oh, it's confidential.
No.
They don't want that disclosed. Last I heard.
We're asking because it says.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I would hope that the public had a chance to understand.
It is for good cause.
Need to know.
Okay.
That's why I did it.
For use of your space.
Okay.
That they will be using that space and not.
Temporarily.
Temporary use.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 1.19, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to submit a request for public assistance to the Federal Emergency Management Agency for the July 2025 flooding disaster. Ms. Putnam.
Good morning. Exactly as it says, we need to submit a request for public assistance from FEMA in order to get disaster relief here in the county. It's, one step in a million. First step.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve submitting the request for public assistance to FEMA for the flooding, July 4th flooding.
Are you asking for a specific amount, or how does this work?
To my knowledge, we don't have a specific
No.
amount yet at this time, so it's going to be a fluid operation to go through every single step and every single department
Sure.
that or aspect that we are going to be requesting for assistance.
We basically just have to get our name in the hat, for lack of a better term, by August. So they're not expecting estimates right now, just.
Okay.
so that we-
That just seems odd to.
Yes.
And that's the
ask for
line?
something without asking for a specific.
Well, this is
Well,
FEMA.
it's being compiled as we
We will
go.
eventually get to that point.
Yeah.
We just can't get to that point without
Right.
getting the name, as you said, the name in the hat.
So this is the first step of a long journey with FEMA.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the funding line up there, the numbers so people know. DR 4879 Texas.
Yes, that is the disaster number.
Yeah. And examples of FEMA is temporary housing. I've seen that in previous floods.
Yes, to my knowledge, it could also assist with the road and bridges,
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, they're working on a lot.
It encompasses a lot.
Okay, thank you.
it's the public assistance side.
Okay, got a motion?
Already got it.
In a second?
We already
Those in
got it.
favor, raise your
Already
hand.
got it.
Unanimous, thank you. Item 1.20, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to immediately hire one CID investigator due to the increased workload resulting from the July 4th flood. Sheriff.
Yeah, this is like I discussed to y'all last week. We've already seen a slight increase in some crime, and we actually got our first fraud case. We're gonna be working with the Attorney General's office, but obviously I anticipate this to rise as time goes on.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the immediate hire of a new CID investigator as presented. Any discussion?
Just where are we at for investigations? Like, of course, the identification of personnel and things like that in task force is a huge amount that I've seen your sheriff's deputies do. Oftentimes with the disasters, you see looting and people trying to take donations and things like that. How are we looking in Kerr County?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. We've already started to see that happen. And,
Okay.
you know, obviously, we have a couple hundred additional first responders. My concern is at some point, they'll be leaving and then we'll be left, you know, to handle this, and I look for a significant increase. Right now, we've got plenty of help here, and it has already started. You know, I won't get in a lot of detail, but it has, and we, like I said, we got our first fraud case. I really look for that to come up, but the Attorney General's office is gonna help us with that. But like I said, once everybody leaves, we'll be taking care of all the businesses to be taken care of.
And just as a matter of information, at one of our meetings yesterday, there was talk about this kind of thing happening with people trying to get people to let them haul off their debris, and entering into what they believe are handshake contracts for $50 that turn out to be $5,000, et cetera.
Scammers.
Scammers.
Yes.
And so, one of the things that we talked about yesterday is preparing a, for lack of a better thing, it's a piece of paper that you can put in your truck that says that you're an authorized contractor for either Tatum or Kerr County, what have you, but something to legitimate them so that anyone entering into some sort of verbal agreement with somebody that's offering to help them that is not officially part of Kerr County or our recovery team, you need to go to the windshield and look, see if it's sitting above the steering wheel. I got one in my truck. I mean, we got to do something.
Yes, we do.
They're out there. You know, a couple months ago, anybody in here get calls from roofers? You know, that people.
Not since yesterday.
Yeah.
Sheriff, my only question is, okay, is this a permanent position? What happens 2 years from now?
Well, we're only getting busier anyway, so you gotta remember, we haven't followed up on caseload for 2 to 3 weeks now, so we're real behind the curveball. But, you know, did I need it before? Yeah, but, you know, we're getting by, but with this, you know, I think we're gonna be busy, and by that time, you know, crime's only increasing here.
And if my recollection is accurate, I think we talked about this last time, didn't we?
Yes, sir, yeah, we did. We went into
So
some
this is
detail on
one of
it.
the positions that we were
Right,
talking about.
last week.
And last time we discussed, were you looking for two, but now you're just looking for one?
He's trying to fill the gap right now.
Yeah, right now, we need one. You know, I did put one in for the new budget, but this is like to go to work pretty quick here, because, you know,
Okay.
the cases are here now, building. Like I said, I only look for it to expand. You know, it's just kind of starting to snowball.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Do we have a motion? And a second?
Yes.
Good. Then those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 1.21, consider discuss and take appropriate action to reclassify existing senior deputy position pay grade 22.5 to environmental law enforcement pay grade 21.5. Reagan Gibbons.
Good morning. So this is, as you all know, our senior deputy with the department did seek other employment. So that position was one grade, pay grade higher than the other environmental law enforcement position. So I'm just moving forward. Whenever I can hire somebody else, they need to be back at the regular spot.
Easy
We'll
one.
take recommended savings any day.
You
Yes,
bet.
sir.
I'll move to approve that we
And I will second.
reclassify the existing senior deputy position, pay grade 22.5 to environmental law enforcement, pay grade 21.5.
We had a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Savings
we're
on this,
actually
Reagan?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
actually, you're lowering the pay grade, so that's,
Yeah, for a new hire.
yeah.
$2,000, I think, out of our budget is what I recall.
Okay.
Something like that.
I don't have the number in front of me, sorry. That sounds about right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.22, discussion regarding proposed departmental request and tax rate. Requested budgets and tax rate. This is not an action item, this is a discussion item. When we voted last Commissioners Court meeting, we voted to give the two positions that had the certified law enforcement certification, bring them up to what the first responders are making in the sheriff's department, and it was a 6-step increase. The paperwork that I had in front of everybody did, what?
You're actually talking about the next
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're,
Okay.
you're ahead.
122.
Oh, okay, this is just the budget? Haven't made much progress on the budget. We know pretty much what it's gonna cost to run the government, but we don't know much about our revenues right now. And we don't know how we're gonna deal with the decrease in fair market value, so I don't really have much to report. I've been working with the auditor, and we should have something out shortly. And it is what it is, or it is what it will be. Any other discussion about that?
Well, it's just, without that, it makes it very difficult to talk about salary adjustments and any other new positions.
I understand.
Yeah,
That's the only point.
yeah, we're shooting in the dark here a little
Yep.
bit, and,
But I would assume as Commissioners Court, we're gonna have to avail ourselves to be available for further budget meetings to catch up.
If we need to, so be it.
So,
Yes.
keep our calendars open is what I'm
Well,
saying.
Well,
And don't forget that if we don't adopt a budget, we default back to last year's budget.
And keep in mind that any commissioner is more than welcome to come by my office and discuss where we are at any point in time.
Thank you.
Good idea. Thank you.
But that doesn't, that's good, and I appreciate that. You've always been there, and I've taken you up on that several times. But I'm still waiting on him to be able to get what he has to present to us.
The recommendation.
Yeah, the
yes,
recommendation.
like you do each year.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Judge, maybe it involves maybe you stepping back a little bit from the EOC where you can and staying here a little bit more, and depending on Tom and I out there, you know, I just a suggestion there, because I know you're spread thin, so but we gotta get something done, and want to see something on paper. And there's other things down here that are fixing to be discussed that,
The decisions are not gonna be made on today, probably.
yeah, we can.
We're really close on his budget.
On
so
expenses.
Again, I welcome anyone who would like to come by my office and discuss it. And I can speak with any individual commissioner.
Sure.
Yep, sure.
It's the judge who can't tap out.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Is counted on the tap out.
well, I'd just like to see that proposed, like you always do. And it, usually in there is, some of the things we're gonna discuss a little bit, what you put in up front, and then you see a bottom line. So, anyway,
I have
We're
somebody
gonna
that
have to
wants,
make assumptions about the loss of revenue. I mean, we've got some numbers. I don't think it's that difficult, but we can come up with an estimate.
I've got Mary Contois. I thought that was French.
It took me 3 months.
First and foremost, my name is Mary Contois. I am a citizen of Kerrville, 1.3 miles from here. And I just want to thank everybody in the room. I've encountered you in my other travelings about, but I just want to say thank you. I don't have the adequate words. I do have some words to add, just my personal perspective and what is on your plate and will continue to be on your plate for weeks, days, and years to come. So I am representing myself, and by association and commiseration with 33% of your constituency, the senior citizens on fixed income. I have a few little pieces of data. My COLA in 2024 was 3.2%. My COLA in 2025 went down to 2.5%. And I have experienced 2 major weather events since 2023 through 2025. I dare not and will not call them disasters, but financially borderline. Because of those weather disasters, my insurance went up 12% out of that fixed income, which is 12% of my fixed income, just for my homeowners insurance alone. I have received increases in my home appraisals, and I'm doing the paperwork on that as well. I live just south of Mount Tivy. I've called to the city planning and several others. The weather events, minor, and never again major after this, but inconvenient. where the runoff goes all the way down Ford Street into Quinlan Creek, and we have not been repaved in years. That is so not appropriate to talk about today. What I want to talk about is I have no commission, I have no budget, voting, bonds, to get that disparity of over 10% that I have to absorb and more year after year, because my insurance company has recognized I live in Texas, I live in a weather vortex, and they hate insuring me. So that said, I could close, but I want to put a little personal face to it. I'm a retired health services administrator, and the bulk of my career was managing small communities of 200 to 300 seniors, from golfing to 24-hour dementia care. I had toilets running over, I had mountain lions in the backyard, and because it was Northern California, I responded to earthquakes, and I responded in fires, and drought, and floods, because just 2 years ago, January, I was visiting family, and we were all locked in because of floods and poor planning. And you all know that's notorious. I'm not going to hold California up or anything else. I'm just going to put this face, 75 years old. I love Kerrville. I love the Hill Country. I love Texas. My being here is not 4 generations, but years of planning and investigation, tax rates, no tax on my Social Security, wonderful church community, wonderful city government community, met most of you, wonderful county. Help us keep it that way. Let's wait a year. Just let's wait a year before we do any more things with budgets, appraisals, increases. And yes, I've done those shifts as a salaried employee and got 3 days off because there was no other mechanism. So I understand, I do understand. And I wish I had the money to give you. I don't.
Thank you.
Yes. I'll just say one thing. We don't control the appraisal district, so when they raise your appraised values by whatever, 10% kind of seems to be their standard, that is not us.
One obstacle to that is the budget meeting for the city was canceled. You got it all.
Yeah, anyway.
And just to clarify what Commissioner Patience is saying, the central appraisal districts report to the comptroller of the state of Texas.
Right.
That's who they report to. We're not in that loop.
I understand.
So typically, I mean, or you can comment further, but we have reduced the tax rate.
Yep.
So that there was a no new revenue tax rate. So at least in terms of county taxes, the last few years, you should have not seen any significant variation.
Okay.
Hope to do it again.
Most of the next items that we're going to deal with on the agenda here are things that are normally decided in the budget process and would normally be ripe for decision. I just offer that for what it's worth. They're on the agenda, at least for us to discuss. Item 1.23 is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the special request for fiscal year 25-26 budget and clarify the changes made for Animal Control Solid Waste Department. Reagan.
If I may.
Yes, you may.
All I'm doing here is I'm just seeking clarification on what was approved and what wasn't. Just, I'm trying to set things up for October. I had a little bit of confusion on it, and I just want to know what was approved and what wasn't in that. Mainly too, because I'm down one person now. I just want to be able to give accurate information.
And this was your request to reclassify those to, and you're trying to take them from a 22.5 to, what are we doing here?
That's correct, Judge. The senior deputies getting reclassified to a law enforcement, from a 22.5 to a 21.
We approved that today.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is just kind of clarification.
And so
from
then, moving down to where it says environmental law enforcement.
Yes.
Those are, tell us again what they are?
I'm sorry.
I'm asking Reagan to tell us again what they are.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What is it you're asking for?
Who's environmental law
So is that
enforcement?
showing a
That's
raise?
the deputy
It's obviously a salary
constables.
adjustment.
And that's, you're taking it from a 21.5 with 6 steps to 21.5 with 12 steps.
Yes,
And that's because of their certification.
yes, sir.
And that would put them on the same level as KCSO deputies.
I believe so.
That's the issue before the court. And another irregular thing that's been done is we're taking votes before I submit a recommended budget.
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I don't either,
Right.
but that, we've been put in that position.
You know,
Is this something that we want to put in the position,
Well-
recommended budget?
yeah.
Again, before, you've gotten all these special requests and you put it in there and then we discussed them once they were in there.
Right,
yea or
that's what we
nay.
did last time.
So can we, I propose we do the same,
With this one?
yes.
Okay. Then, let's have a motion.
Well,
So we can discuss it.
Well, you put in whatever you think and then we'll discuss it after it's on paper, all of it, all these type things. You know,
when we see the big picture, we may not get to this level of granularity and.
So you ready to pass on this for today?
May I
Right.
just say also,
Go ahead.
this was part of, this was, there was increase for 2 deputies. There was a reclassification of an existing position into another that had a pay raise, because it's gonna entail some supervisory duties. And then also there was elimination of a full-time animal control officer and a part-time kennel tech, and an addition of a full-time kennel tech. Basically, and there was a savings, an actual budgetary savings out of all this of, gosh, I can't remember that offhand, but it was, there's a budgetary savings, so just wanted to throw that out.
And I do appreciate that's good clarification, but that should be for a budget meeting. And I think that's what we're trying to get this saved for a later budget meeting, not
Well,
part
and
of
it was
Commissioners Court.
discussed during that special meeting last week. I just wasn't clear. There was confusion after court. I'm just trying to see what was decided.
I'm not gonna be in favor of moving all the way up to
12 steps.
12. Yeah. I do think they need an increase.
Well, let me just clarify so that everybody
We're not talking
understands
about a
where we
separate
were
possible
and where we are. Where we were 2 weeks ago, when we discussed this, and we started piecemeal approving parts of the budget, rather than waiting till the whole budget. We did some stuff with KCSO that needed to be done. And then with regard to environmental, we had the discussion about these 2 senior deputy, or I call them senior, two deputies, positions. And at the time, when he first, the special requests were first made to me, Sean was still here. And so, this was a request to raise the 2 deputies with the law enforcement certification to a comparable level as their peers in the KCSO. And that was, both of them would have gone to a 21.5 with 12 steps. It would have added 6 steps each to get them there, right, Reagan?
Yes, sir, that is I believe so.
And where we are now is, he's asking for clarification. And if what I'm hearing is you want this to be put in my recommended budget that everybody can discuss at that time, rather than deal with it piecemeal. Because historically, we've not done it this way.
Exactly.
It was an exception last time.
Yeah, but what we had asked the department, or you guys to do, is bring us to where we can compare apples and apples, not apples to oranges, because they're not KSO. And they have 2 totally different functions of law enforcement. And I don't know that you've been able to figure that out yet as to how you can do a comparable between y'all and other officers of your same stature.
They need to stand on their own merit.
Correct, correct, yeah.
Well, I think the threshold question, at least that I feel like I need to address today, is this something that you want me to incorporate in my recommended budget and deal with at that time?
Yes.
That'll work.
So we'll pass on this item?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Ray. Yes, ma'am.
Now, just to clarify.
For those of you that don't know, this is the boss of the county.
Yeah, okay. Just for clarification, as you stated, we did it very different last week
I know.
last meeting, while you voted on individual positions. I'm understanding now you kinda wanna go back. So am I clear we can rescind all those court orders?
No.
I'll have it on the
Just-
next agenda.
Just
No,
on
not
this
the ones that we
issue.
already made.
So all the rest of those court orders you wanna stay, and those will
Yes.
stay in the judge's budget, this is the only one that's not?
Yeah.
Well, he can make it as a recommendation, but yeah, I see your
Well-
point. That's,
Well-
we voted to approve your last
Well-
recommendation that did not reflect the change that was shown.
What we did last time was very irregular, but I see my auditor's hand up.
But
You want to
it was
address this?
specific to the sheriff's request.
My understanding is you wanted what you had in your budget and the way you approved it, and then as we finish that up with the revenues, we would move it, and then we were gonna start working on the proposed budget as approved by the Commissioners Court. And so then at that point, it would incorporate all of the motions that were made last time.
So this court approved the one that, even though it wasn't done the way they wanted it, it was approved by the court. So I would think that has to stand, and then you can bring this back as your recommendation separately. Is that right?
If you want to.
And that's what I wanna clarify, cause it sounded like Commissioner Harris wanted to go back to step one, which means we need to rescind all those court orders.
No,
The
this-
judge can
No, I
do
don't,
This
I
is-
don't think
this-
he meant that.
I think, in all fairness, this is the only question that has any ambiguity to it. And it was put on the agenda today to clarify ambiguity, which we have not done. So this is the only thing that needs to be backed out of whatever our orders will be on this thing. Just the environmental position, the step 12 position. Everything else stands.
I don't think there was an order on this
Well,
issue.
there would- there
You
would
don't
have
have to
been.
back it up.
Whatever.
For point of order, do we need to vote on this rescind?
It's not a rescind.
It's not a
We
rescind.
Vote for
There's
it
just no order.
previously.
Okay.
We only voted specifically on some of the items for the sheriff's department.
Okay,
That was it.
thank you.
I see no reason to rescind those.
Okay.
I don't think that that's accurate. I think that you voted on other items too, and it was sort of out of the ordinary, which is probably
What were the other ones we
why
voted
we
on?
don't have a
Sure.
specific list about
It
that.
had to do with new positions and special
I
request.
think y'all voted on some things. So they may, if that's really what y'all wanna do, they may need to be rescinded later, and you can do that at your next one.
We'll true all that up with the budget,
That's a great
if we pass one.
Yeah.
We will.
Okay.
Item 1.24, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a request for new positions. I think that's a little bit of what we were doing here. Any other new positions we need to consider? We've already done the CID investigator. Okay, so we'll pass that. And we'll move on to item 1.25, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the fiscal year 25-26 Kerr County wage adjustment. Mr. Pata. I think I know where this is going.
Again, this is what y'all were discussing just a little while ago, so, I mean,
I do have some public members that want to speak on this.
okay.
Okay, so,
I don't have anything new to add other than that sheet was provided
Okay.
to y'all last court.
Ms. Hall?
Again, Terry Hall at 118 Independence for We the People, Liberty and Action. I just feel like there just needs to be a reality check between what happens inside government versus outside government right now. Your constituents don't have any extra money, and they are not getting richer from the disaster. If anything, we're poorer today since July 4th. Contractors have been donating their equipment, their employees, their time, free of charge during the rescue and recovery efforts. Everybody is making a shared sacrifice and doing everything they can to help our community that's in crisis right now. A pay increase will necessitate what you do with your tax rate. In our county and every county in Texas, they do it the same way, because I've dealt with appraisers in every county I've lived in Texas, and they all tell me the same thing when I go protest my property tax appraisal value every single year, virtually every year. Because it's done by a mass appraisal system, and it's done based on your tax rate. So whatever your tax rate is and whatever your budget is what they pop out the numbers to meet that budget. So while you don't have direct influence over what the appraised values are of our homes, what you adopt for your budget and your tax rate absolutely affects how that turns out in each of our property tax bills. One of the things we're very concerned with the fact that landowners are very at risk of losing their property because they're not going to be fully reimbursed. They're either underinsured or their deductibles or other reasons they're going to lose their property or their ability to rebuild. That leaves us vulnerable to corporations like BlackRock and doing land grabbing like they've done with the California wildfires and just about every other disaster in our nation. They will come swoop in and buy up this land and completely transform Kerr County into something none of us will recognize. They don't share our small town values. And it also hurts our young people who cannot afford homes here. And these are the very working class families that we need to rebuild all the homes and all the buildings in our community that have been lost. We're literally shooting ourselves in the foot if this means a property tax increase by giving people more pay raises. We're all dealing with unknowns, just like you are. And the state is picking up the tab for our biggest expense, which is the debris removal. That is a godsend. That alone should make us have any other discussion about increasing taxes locally off the table. Plus, you're making $4,000 a day off the EOC, which was an unexpected income, if you will. The Community Foundation, $60 million and counting. And y'all got 3 pay raises 3 years in a row. No more. Enough is enough. We don't have it to give you. And if this were to come to the voters, that's what we would tell you, is at the end of the day, we don't have it. It's not that we don't think that everybody's doing a fantastic job in trying to do what we can to put our community back together. It's risking our community falling into the hands of these big corporations and potentially foreign entities. Even though we had the foreign land bill passed, that's only foreign enemies. That doesn't keep foreign companies from coming in and buying up our land. So please protect Kerr County by protecting your residents and realizing what's happening outside of county government. We don't have any more to give you, and we ask you to please hold the line.
And we've done that every year that I've been up there. We've always had you and others come in and warn us and about the tax rate and stuff, and what have we done? Ends up with no new revenue rate other than the bond year. And so I'm proud of my votes on tax rates. For 6 years, fixing to be 7 years, whatever's around the corner. You know, I'll repeat what I said before. During the China virus year, we didn't know what was around the corner, but we tightened our belts. And we didn't raise your taxes, even though it was unknown. We didn't give a wage adjustment or a COLA that year to our people because they were working. Some of their neighbors weren't working. Some of the businesses were closed down. And that's the way we handle things, and that's the approach we'll take this year. I don't know, I'm not saying there won't be a COLA or whatever, but we're gonna be cautious about what we do. So, hold off on the accusations. We're doing the best job we can.
Well, and to clarify, that we did not raise the tax rate in the FY 19-20 year, kept it the same. And every single year since then, we have lowered the tax rate to be more in line with the no new revenue rate. And this year, I don't know if we can do that.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We're gonna try. I agree wholeheartedly with
Just so I
Commissioner
understand.
Harris's
But we've been
comments.
able to do that every year, and appraisal values have gone up.
Yes.
Right.
And this year, you're not gonna have that. And that's what's gonna hurt
$240
us.
million loss on tax rolls,
Right.
it's gonna pinch.
Well, but the one thing I wanted to clarify is, again, you know, I'm not sure what the appraisal district does. I know they take direction from the comptroller. They do not look at our budget and decide how much to raise their values. That's an independent process.
They
Has
go up,
nothing to
we
do
go
with our
down, is
budget.
what we've done.
That's exactly right. So there is no linkage between that appraisal district, whatever their 10% or 5%. If they only increased it 5%, we'd have a no new revenue rate that was much less adjusted.
We'll
That's
see,
it.
we'll see.
That's it.
But, you know,
Can I ask why is this being discussed again? Didn't we talk about this previously? The wage
Yeah, but we
adjustment?
passed
We put it off.
We put it off. We didn't vote on it.
Okay.
And so that's my question is, are we ready to deal with the wage adjustment request or
no.
not?
I think, again, we gotta
What-
see the.
no,
And if
sir,
we're not,
that-
we pass it.
Yeah.
This should be part of our budget meeting.
How
Okay.
far,
Yes.
down the calendar can we push before we, and I'm not ready to vote on anything.
you know, we're,
Then we end up with last year's rate.
To incorporate everything that y'all, the wage adjustment in, because it affects so many of our people and it's all individual. We do not have a computer program that will do it just like that. It's all individual calculations. The sooner you pass it, it at least helps us.
Yeah, what I'm asking though is how far down the line can we push before we fall into last year's budget?
got about a
Cause
month.
that's the
We're not ready
timeline
to-
that we have to
Maybe a
have,
month,
to
I
have the
don't know.
budget in our hands to.
You can pass it up, if I'm not mistaken, until the end of the year, which is September the 30th, and
Yep.
whether if you know, let me know. However, I think it still has to be passed on a regular scheduled meeting, and I believe the 30th would be past that last meeting.
Well, we can, every Monday is considered a regular meeting. For budget purposes.
The waiting until this isn't going to make the numbers look better. It's not gonna do anything except condense the amount of time that everyone is working really hard and putting in long hours has to get the
But
budget together.
I don't disagree with your statement, but I'm not gonna vote on anything till I have a budget.
Okay.
The whole thing in front of us. Okay?
So, so far what you've seen is everything has been put in front of you and you haven't voted on any of the final. This would kind of be the same thing. So where we've got road and bridges, they're on list of things. This wage adjustment is part of a list of things that is in there, that was not considered during the normal.
But if I have a budget and I know what Road and Bridge is asking for, we might can say, if we wanna consider this, we need to reduce this. We have to have a budget.
If we get it out in front of us, then we can say, okay, we need to start trimming hard, here, where do we trim? But if we're piecemealing like we're trying to do now, you don't know the end result.
And we need to understand what the latest estimate is for the reserve balance, because we're probably gonna be eating into that.
Yes,
Of
we
course.
absolutely are, yes.
Yes.
So I invite each one of you to please come by and tell me what
I'll be
you'd
there.
like to cut in order to make room for whatever's important to you. I currently know what that is for the county judge, which his budget right now does include this wage increase. And so that's, I think, why it's been on the agenda and why everyone's asking.
Been a little busy.
Just to clarify, and something I don't understand and probably need to, there are two different ways to incentivize someone financially. In the budget, if we do a wage increase like for steps, right? That's one way to do it, where you target the individual in the budget. This is a blanket COLA, if you will, across that. Let's say somebody gets a step increase in the budget because we think they're doing a great job. Does this compound on top of that?
Yes.
It does, but we don't have an.
So it could be
avenue
like,
for-
instead of a 20% increase, 22.5?
We don't have an avenue for increases throughout the year because they're doing a great job.
Right.
The county policy does not include merit raises or opportunities like that for our employees.
Commissioner, if I understood your question, and I think I understood your question. The numbers that you see on these spreadsheets are current numbers. So when people are asking for step increases or grade increases, they're based on our current budget. And so if a wage adjustment is approved, then that would go across the board for everybody. It would also reflect, these numbers would go up by that percentage. Currently, we do estimates based on current budget because we don't know if there's gonna be a wage adjustment.
Okay,
Does that answer your?
it does, thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone have, okay.
Good
Lance?
morning. Just to speak upon what you just asked. We did try that here, but it failed. we had all the department heads get together, try to do an incentive for our employees, but it became favoritism. So with that being said, we've tried that route. So the easiest way was the COLA. So each department head, each elected official, because within your department, you have certain people that do a lot of work, but then they start talking amongst each other saying, hey, I got 5%, I got 2%, I got 1%. That made it very difficult within our departments. So it has been tried because I was on the committee and I used to be HR director, and it did not work. We are not a corporation, we're county government. So that's my 2 cents worth. And I'm also gonna say, we are taxpayers too. It cost us. I live on the Guadalupe River. Luckily, my property was not damaged, but my neighbors were. I'm 4th generation here, so I've lived here a long time. And it's just very frustrating how people point fingers. We're here to help each other. We're not here to accuse each other of things. So I think everybody needs to look down and think about what you say before tax increases, all of this. We're here to work together, not against each other.
I do not detect an appetite to make a decision on this today. Is that correct?
That's correct. Correct.
So let's pass it. And when I say pass, it's not approving it, we're just passing the agenda item.
I think that y'all, as a court, if you carve out an hour to go sit with the auditor, could move forward one way or another, in the near future, so that y'all can really get the big picture of it. And so if y'all will schedule a time with her to sit with her, it will really be helpful to each of you to see what's planned already. and
What's
what
on
the
paper now?
possibilities are.
And what Jody was.
What's on paper? Like normally, what we get, on paper, you've got a work in progress?
I've got a work in progress.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Ms. Zapata?
I'm just ready for the next item, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just was sorry, not that I don't want y'all to discuss it further, by all means, I
With
just was getting ready.
With regard to the follow-up for commissioners to talk to the auditor, we're gonna look to the two of you at that table to be the gatekeepers to tell us when we can put this back on a regular agenda. And what Jody was clarifying is, we did adopt every Monday to be a regular Commissioners Court meeting for this very purpose, in case we needed it. So, with that, we will move on to the next item, which is 1.26. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the proposed salary increases for elected county and precinct officials for Kerr County fiscal year 25-26. Ms. Zapata.
And based on y'all's previous comments, don't know that we can move forward with any of this. I mean, without having any direction, there's really not much I can.
Well, and let me disclose to the court that we have some things that are statutory. There have been changes in judges' salaries that we're not gonna have any choice on. And those issues are gonna have to be dealt with at some point. They are mandatory.
9-1.
And that was the product of the last legislative session. So we'll pass on 26?
What are the statutory dates that for those?
Same as budget,
Same
fiscal
as
years.
budget. Okay, that's fine.
It's just, I think we do it on fiscal year, can't we?
Some of the statutory changes are effective September 1st.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Part of it is also that elected officials have to be published in the newspaper
Right.
at a certain
Sure.
time, and it's all based on date, so all of that is going to have to be relooked at to recalculate all of the dates.
Well, I would,
But I was just making sure y'all understood that some of these things are mandatory.
right.
We're not gonna be able to do everything exactly the same. And I think that's even true if we don't adopt a budget.
Well, while we're talking about this, and let's meet next Monday. And can we do it in the afternoons, after the Tatum meetings?
I think you already planned to meet next Monday, because that's when Bob will have the
Okay.
updated numbers.
Is there a chance we could move them to the afternoon? 2:30 or so,
Works for
that
me.
meeting. So
That'd be great.
Y'all have a
'cause
problem with
it
it?
kicks me out of a lot of meetings being here right now.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
important meetings
both of
right
us,
now.
right.
So if we could do it like 2:30, if that
Maybe even a
would,
little bit later,
yes, sir.
so I can get here from school.
I'm sorry.
Maybe even a little bit later than that.
I'll post
4.
it whenever you guys.
And so that would, that's gonna be August the 4th?
Yes, sir.
I'll wait and put it on my calendar after
That's,
you
that's a
decide.
KDC board meeting, that'd be your first,
At what time?
noon.
At noon?
And then we have juvenile docket in the afternoon at 1:30.
All the more reason to put it later in the afternoon.
Okay.
So how later? What time?
My recommendation was 4 PM, August 4th.
I'm all right with that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna pass on 26, and we're gonna take up 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27.
Yep.
Next Monday, August the 4th, 4 PM.
In my calendar.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Hall, is there anything else you wanted to say? I've got your. We'll move on to the approval agenda, item 2.1, budget amendments.
Yes, you have in front of you 14 budget amendments. 3 are related to the flood, and they're all moving money around that we currently have budgeted into other places.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion?
Yes. I'm looking on the front page of all this. That's something I don't think a lot of people are aware of, the costs that we're incurring with this. We know what's going on with this. We're having to, these are,
This is basically covering the overtime and the expected cost of the autopsies.
yeah.
And we're moving like,
$339,000
we're
autopsy.
moving the items that are open right now, or that have never been filled for the year. And we're moving those out and moving them into like whichever department needs it. Mostly it's the sheriff's office to cover that overtime.
And that 550 Earl Garrett, what's that?
That was we did not receive any bids. That was on the sheriff moving into where adult probation is, adult probation moving there. If you'll recall, we did not get any bids whatsoever on that.
We went out
So
for
that
bids.
money is being used to cover this.
$285,000 is now gonna be able to be utilized for. other-
Correct.
Okay, that's helpful.
And the first call transport is related to autopsy
It
requirements.
is. It's what we pay the funeral homes to transport the bodies back and forth.
That's something FEMA reimburses on.
Did you need this, Judge? Did you have your copy?
Oh, yeah, no is the likely answer. We'll try, but no is the likely answer.
Okay. Yeah, I just, when I looked at that, I had a few questions. I just wasn't quite sure about what was being done there, so.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, our state representative, Wes Fordell, just came into the courtroom. Welcome. Nice to see you here.
And his boss.
Yeah.
And his boss. Anything else about budget amendments?
We already had a motion.
Yeah, we got a motion.
And second, we did a discussion, yeah, so, voting.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Pay bills.
Yes, invoices for today's consideration, $1,548,501.92.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to pay the bills as presented. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.3, late bills.
There are not any.
Thank you. 2.4, auditor reports.
Yes, we had audited the county clerk's office, and we're asking that you accept the report.
I move for approval.
Got a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to 2.5, thank you. 2.5 is accept monthly reports.
Okay. For June 2025, Environmental Health and Animal Services, Director Reagan Givens. Treasurer's Monthly Report, Tracy Salden. Quarterly Report, January through March of 2025, Environmental Health and Animal Services, Director Reagan Givens. I move for approval.
Got a motion to approve the monthly reports
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Next is court orders. And I'm sad to tell you that I have not reviewed the court orders.
Well, maybe we should pass.
That's what I was frantically looking for, is I hadn't looked at court orders. We've been a little busy. Okay, so moving on to the information agenda. Status reports of department heads. Shane?
Good morning again. Just wanted to give y'all an update that we are going to start changing out the ACs on August 1st starting in the afternoon only and Saturday. So I did address the department that would be affected by this. They're aware that we're going to start changing out this ACs on Friday afternoon and Saturday, and also if we run into any problems, hopefully not, we'll also have Sunday to take care of that. I will also send out a countywide email notifying people that I will have to have a crane parked on the Earl Garrett side of the courthouse, either in the lower level or on the top where the commissioners park, to remove the condensing units on the top of the building and then put the new ones on.
Okay.
Hopefully that won't take but several hours. We would also be working Friday afternoon late to take care of anything, and then hopefully we can finish up on Saturday. So,
Okay, thank you. Good. Any other department head reports? IT.
Good morning, Court. I just want to give a quick update on the Office 365 migration. We are pushing that back one more week. So next Monday evening, we'll actually be going live with that. I was short-staffed last week, so I didn't get a chance to get through all the mechanics of the hows and the whys. We have my full staff back in this week, and that is our focus, to make sure that we get everything put into place, starting with some functional addresses for different departments. I have sent out some information on, kind of the naming conventions and why that is. So to get the standardizations into place, we're still working through the mechanics of how all that looks. So
keep up the good work.
We're trying.
I know everybody's running as fast as you can, and we appreciate it.
So Corey, when do all the new email addresses take into effect? Basically, that's this date, as soon as 365 is up and running, or?
Yes, so the current domain, the Coker Text US, that will actually still be running in the background. We're working on the how-to list of upgrading your current Outlook environment on your desktops. There are, I don't want to get too deep into it now, but internally, we have been actually running in parallel with the old domain and the new domain. So we're still trying to figure out all the bugs. We're taking that internally to get them fixed before we actually go live with the masses. But the current domain will still run as is. So anything that's coming into that address will still come in for roughly about a year. So as you're looking at, when you get those emails to come in, if it's an automated one, go in and update those as fast as you can. Understand there's a lot of flood relief emails that are coming in.
Sure.
I don't want to impact that at all, right? So that's why we're leaving that on as long as we can. But TAC, Texas Association of Counties, has been great with helping us through this migration, and they've taken on a lot of the burden from us. So it's, we look to be migrating in the right direction. I wanted to make sure all the mechanics were in place before we went live.
Okay, thank you. Any other department heads? Let's move on to 3.2, elected officials. Okay, 3.3, liaison commissioners.
I've missed a couple of my liaison meetings, but I've spent an exorbitant amount of time with some of them, like engineering and stuff. So, but I haven't had any reports from any of those that I have not been at that have been negative, so I think everything's been going great as far as the ones that are assigned to me. You attended the PDO, so I did not. So you didn't have anything to report, so I'm assuming that went well.
I didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make it? Okay. But my hat's off to these folks. They work like a machine on all their stuff. I'm just honored to be there with them.
People have stepped up. Road and Bridge is functioning at a high level. Kind of shift gears from seal coating to damaged roads and what have you. And they're doing a good job out there.
Just two quick updates. I accepted some support from our History Commission for Veterans Day, the Alley Burton Building. We haven't forgot about that. We're still going to hold that. And there's a display that we're going to make inside. We have a presentation piece for the outside. And we'll have some special guests invited, of course, for that, especially if they're Air Force affiliated, to attend that. And we've also trying to get the band from San Antonio, which would be nice. If not, we'll fall back on some support from JROTC programs, preferably Tyvees, Air Force, JROTC. If not, I know another one. But we'll be supported, and I thank the Oats for stepping in and making some finer details on that with our VSL office. That's number one. Number two, my recommendation, just again for the commissioners, support for the sheriff in mental health transports. I still believe that the constables can play a role. My recommendation is that, for instance, my constable, which I've spoken to, seems to be amenable to help out just on one day a month, being the third Monday of that month. If we can make it possible where first Monday, second Monday, third Monday, fourth Monday, if we could recommend that to our constables, just to help out during the workday, take some of the relief off the mental health burden. Sheriff, the only thing we couldn't come up with is caged vehicles, just to let you know. Not many of them actually are suitable with caged vehicles, but if you had some horsepower, manpower to help you out with that, you might be able to find the right type of vehicle for that. Just a reminder again for our commissioners, if they want to support that recommendation to their own elected official, which is their constable. Thank you.
But that has to be voluntary on their part. For those of you that don't know, one elected official can't tell another elected official what to do. They've got their job, and they do it the way they think they ought to do it. That would be a big help if they did that.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? We have an executive session item.
We do.
Okay, so let's take about a 5-minute recess, and we'll reconvene in executive session on a personnel matter in Road and Bridge.
Well, Don?